You walk down.
Okay.
Everyone, thanks for being here. That's good. We don't have to vote on any.
Just minutes.
So, yeah. All right, well, thank you everyone for being here tonight. I think this group has been together all at the same time, but we're gonna do introductions nonetheless, just to make sure that everybody knows everybody here and continue to build community. So we're gonna start you, Jess, and go that way.
Okay, hi, everybody. I'm Jessica Tillman Lloyd. I have 3 children. The oldest is in 8th grade. Her name is Molly. The second oldest is in 5th grade. His name is Marty. He is in Mrs. Jones' class. And the youngest is in 3rd grade. His name is Mitch, and he is in Mrs. Jones.
I know, I was like.
My name is Tom. Hayden's in 2nd and Jordan's in kindergarten.
Shannon, I have Jeffrey in 2nd grade, and then Maggie was a 3-year-old.
What class?
Miss Rudy's class with Hayden.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Okay, I'm Leah. I have Luke in 3rd, Calvin in 2nd, and Audrey in kindergarten.
I'm Hillary. I have Flynn in 1st, and Wendy will be in kindergarten next year. Michelle Slavin. I have Clark in 5th and Ray in 3rd. And Allie and Gabe in 1st and in kindergarten.
I'm Sarah. I have twin 2nd graders, and then I have, oh wait, Chris is.
Greg and
No, Margaret's last year, the prosperous and Greg. I know the first thing you do, like when I email them, but that's not it right now. And then I have a junior.
Okay, then, Vivian is in 3rd grade with Mrs. Deanna, and I have a 1.5-year-old who will be here.
I'm Stephanie, and Serafina is in 3rd grade in Miss Edgerton, and Elliot is in kindergarten in Rubino Sayo.
I'm Julie. I have Nicholas in Mrs. Peterson's class in 5th grade, Olivia in Mrs. Duclos' class in 3rd grade, and Josie, who will be here soon too. Huh? Yeah.
Mike, Hank is in 4th grade and Ivy is in 2nd grade. So,
We also have Allison on Zoom, and I will not force her to go off mute and on camera because I like her. And she has Charlotte, who's in 1st grade.
one of the Charlottes.
Yeah.
Great. All right, since we don't have quorum, we won't vote on minutes. We'll push it to April. I will kind of on the note of quorum. April will be an elections meeting, so we really do need quorum. So thank you all for being here, but if you can encourage anybody else that typically comes to kind of make sure they're here or can join on Zoom. It will be more important. We're also going to do some type of catering of sort. I don't know. That might be too big of a word. We're gonna have some refreshments.
What was the 2nd Wednesday or?
This upcoming April, we wanted to try to do it on Thursday, April 13th. Just because we were getting some feedback that the date it'd be nice to have some variety, so we're gonna do April 13th and then May. We'll go back to the 2nd Wednesday to finish up, so.
Ultimately, it'll be, Caitlin and Sarah will let everyone know, but the goal would perhaps to carry that alternating day into the school year. Maybe one will be on a Tuesday, a Wednesday, or Thursday, just to allow for more parents to be able to come if they have the same night commitment every week.
All right, well then, for tonight, we'll have a sorry. Principal Hiley, if you want. Principal Hiley provide an update. We'll do some committee reports, address any new business, and then see if there's anything else we need to talk about. So.
All right, thank you very much. Great to see everybody tonight. I have a safety update, which I didn't expect to give. But I just found out 20 minutes ago that our doors over here were unable to be open. So I apologize for everyone having to walk around. About a week ago, the district had at least one handle removed from doors that have two handles on all exterior doors. In the event that someone wanted to do harm in the building and lock the doors from the outside. So this is the first time I've had to use those doors since the handle came off. And if they, like put something through and God forbid, we couldn't get out. I honestly did not know about it. I didn't think about it and they came and I was like, what's going on? And I was like, oh, okay. So this is the first time I've had to unlock these doors. So of course, the side that was taken off is only one side of these doors unlocks, not every single door. You have to have a little keyhole. Bottom line, I apologize. Hopefully I can get that changed by next month. I'll do what I can. But if not, I'll be saying that is going to be the entrance or the main entrance. I did have the main entrance unlocked. But I do apologize for that. That is why we could not use those doors tonight. All right. First, a big thank you, Read Across America, to who are there and all of the parents. It was so exciting after 3 years to have that many people in the building. It was also the largest number of staff that have participated. We had a lot of staff who had not been a reader before, which is fine, but a large number came out, and that was really exciting to see. So thank you to all of the parents, all the staff, retired teachers, everyone that took place that came out that night. It was just a great event. It really felt that energy, before 2020. So thank you to everybody. Wonderful event. Thank you to PTO for coming out last Monday night, which was the kindergarten orientation. We had I'd say about 35, maybe 40 parents come out. There was no lottery. We currently look like we have 2 a.m. and 2 p.m. classes at this point. But it was great to see our new families. I would say it was very interesting. All of our new families were on one side and all of our other families were on this. I don't know if you guys picked up on that. And I had to make sure I kept going back and forth. Yeah, because I said, how many of you are new families? And it was almost like it was a whole section. Yeah. So, but it was just a great event, great opportunity to meet our new families. A couple of upcoming dates, strategic planning. I sent out a separate email just for strategic planning. All the buildings are sending those out, which is this Saturday morning from 9 to 11 at the middle school. I'll probably be sending that out at least one more time before Saturday, but I'm passing that along. The assistant superintendent has been running those meetings. I think this is the 3rd of 4. There's also a Zoom opportunity, which I believe is next week, but I don't have that in front of me, but I know that'll be coming out in an e-blast as well. But Saturday's in person. Next Friday, March 17th, there's no school. That's a teacher in service day, and that'll be coming up in my e-blast, but next Friday, no school. Thank you to PTO. We have our second assembly tomorrow. Magician coming, K-2 and 3 to 5 in the morning. Our PM kindergartens, we are able, we had a little snafu with the last assembly, but we have been successful in using the building camera to film it and share it with our PM kindergartens. We did have a difficulty last time, but we've kind of worked that out. I'm not saying they'll see it tomorrow, but they will have access to it, the teachers. So we're really kind of exploring that opportunity to share all of the opportunities AM, PM kindergarten. So thank you for the feedback we got a couple months ago. Later in the month, if you haven't had an opportunity, thank you to Jess Lloyd for pushing it out on Facebook. I did give a school board presentation last Monday, talking about our cultural proficiency equity work that we've been doing, read alouds in the classrooms, a whole host of activities, MLK Day. The next activity that my teacher leaders have put together is an assembly for grades 3 through 5. And this has come out of just anecdotal information. We're looking at how powerful students' words are to each other. So this assembly is kind of a teacher-created, student-created assembly. We've kind of identified some themes that have developed in more 3 to 5 and K-2. So we are partnering once again with 8th graders. And we have scripts. So I should say 8th graders have scripts of scenarios that they're going to perform for our students. We're also going to start with an activity. You may have seen this out on social media. We're not doing this particular activity, but very similar. There's a video I've seen where everyone's in a line and someone says, have you ever had this done to you or whatever, people take a step forward, go, something like that. So we're gonna kind of developmentally appropriate, have students either stand up. We're still working out some of the kinks, but basically one of those things where students will, be able to see each other and kind of empathize, right, with some of these things. So that's the first part. The second part, or I should say that's the second part. The first part is the performances by the 8th graders. Next part after that is we have read alouds that will either be used right after or sometime that week, but there'll be time for discussion in our grade 3 to 5 classrooms. We're really excited. It's something that the team's been talking about. Like, what can we do more for our students? Because again, social media, I just know our 5th graders, it's a different world than when I was in 5th grade. And I was reminded of that today. It's more like 8th and 9th grade, yet they are still 10, 11-year-olds. So yes, we have challenges we didn't face, but they're still the same age. So we're really looking forward to it. We're still working out some of the details, but that assembly is actually at the end of the month. I want to say March 27th. That's at the end of the month. Parent-teacher conferences. This will be in my e-blast on Friday. I anticipate that the sign-up link will be going out to parents on Monday, next Monday, March 13th, and will be open throughout that week. The conference schedule is Thursday, March 30th. That's conferences AM, PM, and evening on Thursday, the 30th. Then on Friday, AM conferences only. Kindergarten conferences are the same as what I just mentioned, plus during the school days on March 28th and 29th. Same schedule as the fall, it's just the end of the week, up against spring break. And the last couple pieces I have are more congratulations to our 5th grade students. A few of our 5th grade students, we had a few students take place in the elementary chorus fest with Jane Urban. That was a wonderful opportunity for our students. The girls, Mrs. Urban said they did a great job and had a good time, as always. Art of Math, Mr. Mendel's 5th grade students participated in the Art of Math Challenge, where students use math strategies to design and build a 3D scale model. And these are always fantastic every year, of a painting of a piece of art, a work of art, excuse me, at the Barnes Foundation. And then everyone comes together. There's actually a link that in my newsletter that's coming up, I'll probably embed into the newsletter, talking about the whole competition. We did make the photo credits, so I'm going to try to get that in my next newsletter. But that was just this past Sunday, and all the students had a great time at the Barnes Foundation. And that concludes my report for tonight. Any questions?
Thank you very much. So then we'll go into committee updates, or do you have a teacher?
I'll do it. Yeah, absolutely. I got
Okay, great.
Yeah. A lot of the staff had multiple events, not just personally, but also for the district. So I'm covering that report, but I did get all the information to share. The kindergarten one, I said, don't even bother sending it to me. It's a little bit out of date, but I did not talk about it last month. My favorite day of the entire school year, and this year may have been the best, is the 100th day of school, where the students dress up as 100-year-olds, right, or elderly individuals, and you should have seen how the students went out. I mean, this year was, I walked into one of the PM sections and I just said, where are my students? Who are all the, and it was a great time. That was a couple weeks ago, but I wanted to highlight it tonight. Yeah, our kindergarten, our students, and they just had such a great time with it. So that was the news from kindergarten, about 2 weeks old, but they dressed up and some of the outfits were very, very good, very creative. Our first grade students, many of our first grade students have been working on their animal research packets. I also talked firsthand about what I saw, because I saw it today. Students are going online, right, to first grade friendly sites, pulling out information and completing research packets. I was speaking with a student today, their animal was sharks, which is one of my favorite. And this is part of their informational writing unit. They basically research it and then they have different pages where they draw pictures, they look at habitat, they look at diet. And other characteristics. So some classes are a little bit ahead of others, you know, so if you have a child, you haven't gotten there yet, it is coming. But I was in a couple rooms today and it was great to see. Our second grade, they're finishing up their science rotations, where they go to different teachers for the different concepts. They're very excited and looking forward to the culminating activity in a few weeks, which will be the life cycle of butterflies. So that'll be coming up. That might be on the other side of spring break, is what I was told, but I did want to highlight it tonight in case it is happening just before or during our next meeting. But they're very excited about that. That's always a highlight of the year. Third grade are currently and will be studying rocks and minerals. Again, different places, because we have so many resources, but some are right in the middle, some are about to start. But they're doing rocks and minerals, and that is one of, I think, the students' favorite units. This unit includes a lot of hands-on activities in which students, obviously very tactile, get rocks and minerals, and then learn how to talk about characteristics. How do we describe them? How do we compare them? How do we contrast them? And then we also try to have you gotten to it yet?
Yeah.
There we go. All right, thank you.
Almost like done. We haven't like.
Okay, I should have had you give the report. All right, so that's where our third grade friends are doing. Fourth grade students have just begun their historical fiction units, which is embedded all across the curriculum. It's writing, it's their read alouds, which are featuring various time points in history. And this is what I was told is the most exciting thing, but in math, students are working with concepts in geometry. That's not the exciting part. I've been told by multiple teachers that the students are extremely excited to be working with protractors.
It's dangerous.
I don't know, I do remember being a fourth grade teacher and that excitement, but I heard it from multiple teachers and they didn't know I was talking to the other, and they're like, yeah, they just can't wait for the protractors. I can't explain it yet, but I'm gonna find out. So fifth grade is working diligently, and this has been going on for a few weeks in different forms. A lot of persuasive writing. They've been doing a lot of different activities, probably for a good 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks now. Persuasive writing essays in science. Some of the classes have started exploring the world around them using microscopes and magnifying glasses. Dr. Corson specifically is piloting an engineering unit. Our Office of Math and STEM has worked with one classroom from each grade level. Dr. Corson just happens to be the one that we're piloting that should be going to the other classrooms at the conclusion. But she's excited, as are her students, for doing the engineering unit right now. And all of the students and the staff are anticipating spring break, then the PSSAs, but then the Washington DC trip. So they're excited. So that's my report, or the teacher report for tonight. Thank you.
Any questions for the teacher?
Thank you, Ms. Amy.
Why did you guys say if we have end of the year?
Okay.
We have to let other people that aren't teachers here find out how you guys are doing. We have to do both. Some are for us and some are for other people. Good question.
All right.
Thank you.
One of the things the parents posted on one of the Facebook pages today asking questions about whether how they were gonna know if they got AM or PM. And I guess as the parent who couldn't make it to the orientation, so I wasn't sure if there was gonna be a communication going out to all of the including kindergarten families.
Typically, no, because they should have been told at registration if it came in after that date.
She was asking.
They were before?
Was, yeah.
So if they're before, they can reach out to me. There will be a communication going out, but it's not expected to be in the next few weeks. I'll put it that way.
Right.
So just contact us.
I shared what you shared, the orientation thing, as of right now, it looks like you'll get whatever you requested, but more registrations are coming in.
Yeah, yes, the exact situation would be anyone registered before February 24th got what they wanted, AM or PM. Anyone after 24th would be PM until June, and that's when we start moving students.
Okay.
So, but 24th would be the cut, but always just call us. Right? we'll let them know.
Any other questions? All right, well then, I think we'll do committee updates and then we'll talk about elections and then playground. So for committee updates, just kind of going through the. Good. Just going through the events that we still have. So starting with Great American Night, Laurie, do you have anything you want to do to wrap it up?
I think it was a big success. We had close to 550 people come. Lots of volunteers, lots of teachers, retired teachers, community members. And a couple $100 back with food sales. Lots of books left over for next year. Good, that's a good thing. Yeah.
Thank you to you and all volunteers. It really was a great event. Steam night, anyone here that wants to say anything on it?
I mean, just from the email with Christy earlier, she needs volunteers to do the craft table. Like specifically, she said this morning there were no people, so I was like, I guess I'll sign up. So the craft, I mean, it's really cute and fun. It's like she has the crafts. Like, she knows what you're gonna do. You sit there, you just help the kids with their glue sticks. So sign up if you can, if you're gonna be around that night. What is that squeaking sound?
We've been wondering what it is.
It's not the girls.
No.
Okay, I think it's that. I'm gonna shoot it.
What?
Oh, it's that. Oh, not like a squeak, but like that running sound, like that running.
Yeah, they were so sweet too, but the first one we were silent, you didn't hear.
Okay,
Yeah, that's like when I'm driving.
I'm sorry.
I let the bags was on there.
Yeah.
Like, somebody fix that, I can't handle it.
It was fine.
So Steam night,
But yes,
Steam night
so,
will be March 23rd, 6:30
Yes.
to 8.
and she did get, as far as like the stations are concerned, she got more people signed up to do the science stations than she had expected, which is great news, but there's still space if you want to be a scientist and sign up for the science stuff.
And for anyone that hasn't been to Steam night yet, since they know, like, we're kind of doing events for the first time. It's an event where tables are set up through the hallway, you kind of walk through, so a little bit more chaos than Read Across America, because it's not necessarily like a moment to stop and listen. So just a controlled chaos, but a lot of fun for everyone, a lot of hands-on activities. Anyone have anything else they would want to add about Steam night?
It's a lot.
Okay,
Is it just certain grades?
in the full school.
Community.
Yeah,
Last year there was a brain. Remember, we had to come to brain.
I think the same guy's coming back.
And then there was some station, the nurses, they had.
My
father
father
wanted
wanted
to
to
do
something, so get ready.
And they had the consultant buckets that they were shooting off in the.
That was fine.
That's what Elliot remembers.
Now, the one thing I do want to talk about with that is that, like, you know, SRS kindly invited all of us to the International Night, which is tomorrow at their school. What is the possibility that we can ever open up these events to the greater community for the show of goodwill?
It's hard when you have 500 people coming to.
Well, Steam Night in particular does not get a crowd that big.
It seemed like it was pretty crowded last year, but that.
It was like 250.
And I don't mean to. It's whatever, because they sound, but
I mean, obviously it's not happening this year, but it's just like,
I do know that at the time when SRS did invite us to that, it was the only type of international night going on in our district. So I know that was another reason why they wanted to, it to be inclusive of that, and in the high school. Into scheduling an international night on Steam night.
or do they?
Huh?
I didn't realize it was Steam Night. Anyway.
Yes. So I conveyed to them that we unfortunately wouldn't be able to participate in that because we have Steam night that same night, but. So there is another international night now opportunity that same night.
yeah, and I'm not whoever said, I think it's tough because it's in the hallway.
Well,
Articulate.
yeah, it's just like, you know, it's not for this year,
Yeah,
but I think that we need to start thinking in the future how we can, if this is the trend, if we're going more inclusive with our events. That we need to,
which I do like, but then I feel like it has to be at the high school.
yeah,
It has to be at like one of the bigger schools, I think, then.
Or, I mean, the steps we could take, and I'm not 100% sure it would work if we did the other two elementaries, but. We could open up the second floor, which would double, like we would just use the hallways upstairs, but that would add to the time for preparation.
Right,
Right, and that's close, we barely make it for 6:30, right? So it's not impossible. But it would present new challenges, but we might be able to work it out. If we do it later, could we put some of the things outside, right? That's a possibility too.
Yeah, or just invite our favorite people.
Or just,
The private invite.
Well, and then, I mean, I think, it's a nice option to have some of our events be just an NPE community event, because I feel like that creates a community within our school too, but I definitely agree, like, opening up to other schools for some of our events.
We just got a great thing going on and I want to share it. I want
Yeah.
everybody to know how great this
I
school
would
is.
love for them all to come to the turkey. They're all welcome to that. Mhm.
That's true, that's true. But
You
it's
need to
different.
have that outside though, right, on Saturday, because that will cause some kind of security issue, right? Having, so you're not just talking SRS and West, you're talking people from down the street to have no kids here.
Mm.
So
For
that will cause some kind of security, right? You don't want just some guy walking through the school that has,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you don't want that.
If you only.
With everything else going on and seeing
you
how the
need to
doors work.
get Out to the other.
Yeah, you need to be outside for that. If you're gonna invite people to be outside.
Well, I think it would be the communication would go through their PTOs as well, so it'd still be somewhat controlled.
But
As much as ours.
I understand your,
Yeah.
There's only one security guard unless you're gonna have other guys from the schools come and help that guy out.
yeah,
He's gonna be all by himself.
if he's here.
Yeah, right? Well, yeah, 'cause he was here that.
yeah,
He was here
he's
last week.
available, he's available,
He seems like a nice guy.
And I'm not saying like that he won't be, but
but, right,
we always have to make sure that
Yes.
he is definitely here for that too.
Correct.
Could we think of a rotation for international, like, this doesn't West do it 1 year and SRS does it 1 year, like, I think they traded on and off, so that we, like, theoretically just bring that event in and share it with them.
There's a desire to move to a district wide,
Yeah.
and that the high school
Mhm.
event that's happening this year is like the district wide international event, which is like, so. Takes away a little bit.
Because we talked about having one here,
We even had it in the budget,
yeah.
and then, yeah.
Yeah, that was after my sleep, yes.
The school.
Sure, yeah, this is.
District community right now, building base. Our teacher appreciation is the next kind of like upcoming after seeing like the next kind of upcoming events. Anybody have anything they want to share about it?
I know that Eric Ritter is heading that up. Sarah and I are volunteers on that committee, and I know that there were a couple parent volunteers from our last meeting who had also jumped on to help. I would just say information forthcoming on additional opportunities.
And that's May 8th, the week of May 8th. All right, next big event for the school communities for the students will be May Fair, and that's 5/26 with the rain date of 6/20/62. Do you have anything you want to see? You shouldn't.
Just got an email.
I just emailed you today or yesterday
Yes.
about it, but like, so we're gonna,
More information coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jess and I are on it, don't worry.
on that, it'll be inflatables and some games for the students to come out with their classes for the day throughout the school day. You're not right? You're not this. Probably a ice cream treat of some sort, something like that, and then.
The other thing with that is we had allotted some, so if you look at our budget, we have a Mayfair budget. We also have a year-end celebration that we did last year with, Tommy organized it with Dippin' Dots and Mama Jew. And we kept that in there, but for ease of scheduling for the end of the year, we were gonna do that with Mayfair. So then it was like all that day where we do ice cream and that. So in theory, you have both budgets to be able to, you know, if you need to get some more inflatables and stuff just for the Mayfair and then the end of the year celebration to cover the ice cream, I think, you have both of those budget lines.
Okay. You got all the money.
Finance girl, so that sounds great to me.
I think it's 5K total, but I'll send the email.
Through the PTO website too, under budgets, you can see all the budget lines there too, so that, you know, we can confirm that with you too, but you at least have it there. And then as you send expenses in, I update that so that you can see how much you have left.
Perfect, okay. I know the one question Jess and I did have, and again, I didn't read the email, so it could be in there, was I think you guys had mentioned reaching out to the high school for volunteers and to do games, like? No.
Yeah,
Did we
I
make
think
that
that
up in
might
the-
be more challenging because it's during the school day, so I don't know. I think last year with Spring Fest, which Mayfair is replacing Spring Fest and going in during the school week instead, so it's just the school
Okay, so
event.
that might not be enough.
Email me and I'll forward it. It's still a little bit far out, but sometimes we do get some students who need like community service out.
Yeah, 'cause they have.
Okay.
Yeah, so as we get more things in place and schedule, just shoot me an email and say, hey, help with this and I'll forward it on to the right.
Yeah.
Perfect, okay.
And then additionally, I think we'll get a sign up genius out for parent volunteer.
Okay, so-
Yeah, April.
And I think that was from a timing perspective too, if Mr. B's sending out like a volunteer request for field day,
Right.
to couple that with. If that can be coordinated, because I feel like that's often like a 1-2 punch where it's like.
Yeah.
He sends out, we send ours, or vice versa, and then it's like a little confusing of like what it is. So I think the way to do both at the same time, that would be probably easier for the parents in a way. Maybe not, but
No, we'll just figure out how we do that.
so. All right. Last committee is fifth grade committee. If there's anything that group wants to share with the larger audience.
It's going. Yeah, money. I think the only maybe real update is just that, we're not gonna do a direct donation this year, so. We should have enough funding within the PTO budget, I'll allocate it for fifth grade. To be able to give money towards the Washington DC trip. Hopefully, subsidize the amount for some children, children who may be in need to be able to go. And, have our end of the year events. So,
And we're excited. The original itinerary, we were hoping for 3 of the museums, but Mary Gay Scanlon, and many thanks to Leanne Kruger, Representative Kruger. We are actually really looking and trying to make it happen, a guided tour of the Capitol building, which we've not had in so long. It's presenting some logistical problems because of the number of people going through, metal security checks. And also trying to keep some itinerary in place, so we're working through it, but we are excited. It does look like we'll get it done as far as the tour. It's just the timing that we're trying to figure out, but we are excited and many thanks. We're hoping to get out and get a photo op with all of our kids as well. But many thanks to Representative Kruger for kind of putting us in touch with the right people. So we're just trying to work out the final details.
And that is, I was just telling Julie, it's a super cool tour. I did it several years ago, so.
So, Julie, do you know if Eric is organizing dinner? Right.
You're sick.
no, that should be, no, yes, it should be, moving out Julie, right? Julie Larson. She's conference dinners.
We probably need to, like,
Reminder.
yeah. Something about.
Typically,
Last year we did the taco, the fiesta.
yes.
That was a big hit.
Yes, so in the past, it was one person, it was Muriel.
Miriam.
Yeah, Muriel. Which I just kind of jumped in to give like a new perspective on it, which, was the tacos, but typically teacher appreciation committee is just the week of teacher appreciation week, so the brunch or lunch, the individual little fun days, and conference dinners is usually the one person. Julie took it over this year, so yeah, we can see that.
It's just Brill who did it in the fall.
Yeah, Julie did the election day base out.
Yeah, never mind.
And since Jeff is picking up
Days off the day.
Mayfair, we might need to find a volunteer for
Okay.
that, so we'll just kind of have that be a call to action.
Yeah, I feel we should give her the right of first refusal. though.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, all right,
The
sorry.
election day base.
Yeah. She was
Yeah.
busy in the fall
Yeah,
and then just picked it up.
maybe that's. what it
Yeah,
was.
I remember she was going to be involved in it.
Okay,
I will email it.
all right, so if not, then we can, yeah, we'll have someone. Okay. Thank you.
She might be able to put together a sign of genius. pretty quickly.
Yeah, we did I thought the tacos was a fun thing. We've always done like soups and things, but You know, I mean, which is great, but sometimes that same thing.
Yeah, I think
kind of-
it's, the soups for the spring, soups for the fall are perfect, but
Yeah.
soups for the spring are kind of like.
So with the taco idea, it was kind of like,
It was like,
make
yeah,
these, you can make these, or you can just go pick up a bag of corn chips and.
Yeah.
It's always a hit, but I will say it was a big hit with the tacos. Yeah.
The tacos, yes.
But I mean, it's always good, always good.
It's easier as complicated as you want, like, no one has to be a chef, you don't have to bake, you know, homemade enchiladas, but you can just go like pick up, you know. So you could pick up a, what are they called, crate packs, or the, remember, there used to be a Taco Bell. You know,
I was
Yeah.
This is exactly what that is.
It's like a crate pack, it's like a 12 pack of tacos.
Oh, the box,
What?
box of 10?
We'll think of something.
Alright, anyone else have any committee updates or any event that are like that we should be thinking about? Alright, well then moving into elections. We have 3 positions that will be open for a total of 4 people for next year, so just wanted to read the descriptions of the position, then ask people that are in the positions now to just share a little bit of color. So the 2 positions would be 2 people, but for 1 position, the vice chairpersons. And the responsibilities are the vice chairperson shall assist the PTO chairpersons in the performance of the duties of that office and assume those duties in the PTO chairperson's absence or incapacity. The vice chairperson shall be a member of the finance committee and can serve on the inter-school council. The vice chairpersons will assume the office of chairperson the following year upon approval of voting procedure. So Sarah and Caitlin are our vice chairperson this year. Julie and I were last year. Caitlin and Sarah will become the chairpersons, and that's the vacancy that we have for the co-vice chairpersons. Share any color?
Sure, I mean, if, as far as board positions go, it's fairly low key. Attend all of the executive board meetings, vote on financial matters. This year Julie was unavailable to go to a meeting with the other PTOs, and so I went with Mike instead. Sarah and I did a kindergarten orientation to say hi to the new people in school team. That's about it. I mean, it's fairly quiet role. So it's, I mean, it's not a bad one to take on. You just have to be willing to go. Yeah. Make it 2 years. That's all.
None of them are bad. Me and them are bad in all honesty though. I like having them.
I think that's
So you're not by yourself.
Yes.
You have.
Yeah, you have the board, you have everything.
I think it's out of all of the roles, like. For dispersing treasurer, you need to have some financial knowledge. Receiving treasurer, not so much, you pick up checks at school, but you have to have some financial knowledge. For secretary, you know, it's great to have. Like be technologically savvy, to have, you know, some social media presence, things like that. Outside of that, just have an investment in the school and the children and, you know, an interest in it, a commitment to it. That's kind of where the knowledge base falls. So, yeah, I would definitely say those the vice positions are the most key. And then you get a real foundation for what you'll be doing the next year. It's nice. You get to see firsthand.
Our next position will be secretary, and the secretary shall keep the minutes of the PTO monthly meetings. Maintain a record of these minutes, post minutes on the PTO website, and or distribute via email. And conduct the official correspondences of the PTO. The secretary will maintain a file of essential records for 3 years, which shall be transferred to the successor. The secretary shall be a member of the finance committee. So, Jess, anything that you want to add to
Yeah.
that?
I just want to say that I have a problem personally with when I do things, I do them to 5,000%. And there's absolutely no expectation that whoever is going to come on has like the graphically rich emails that I tried. There's no reason for this. This is just me being a crazy person. Like you can just type out 3 words and send it out and say STEM night's coming up, right? It does not have to be nearly as hard as I've made it for myself. And I kind of regret it but that's besides.
So we do.
Well, I'm jealous. My E-class, I see, I do my E-class, like, I do. I don't give it to anybody else.
Exhausting, and I'm like, I don't know why I did this so much. Today I was like, why did I do this? Like, why? Like, I spent so long writing out all those names and putting them, why did I put them in a graphic? I don't know why I made a graphic. Okay, I'll stop. Anyway.
It's fantastic.
But that's beside the point. It is something that it is very doable, and it's just a matter of just coming, putting in a half an hour once a week to put the e-blasts out. It's not a huge lift.
Yeah, and I was secretary for Jess, I didn't do as much, but I feel like it was just to get information out into the community is most important thing, so.
And you've established a really good base of a Facebook page and getting the emails and things like that, so it's easy for somebody to take on and just use your templates in MailChimp to duplicate and update and.
But that's
things
another
like that.
thing. The
So it's
Facebook,
super easy.
yeah, the Facebook does not have to be run by the secretary. The
No.
secretary can farm out the Facebook and the
Yeah.
social media to somebody else if they want to split the role.
But also you've made it super simple and you started this really great base. So that somebody coming in could take that and just run with it too, and put their own creative spin on
Yeah.
it.
Okay. The last position open is dispersing treasurer. The dispersing treasurer shall keep full and accurate financial records, so. Present financial records at the regular meetings of the PTO and shall issue checks in accordance with the invoices and memoranda approved by the chairperson, vice chairpersons. Receiving treasurer or secretary, the outgoing treasurer, dispersing treasurer shall present the books by July 15th for an annual review as deemed appropriate by the incoming executive board. The dispersing treasurer shall be a member of the finance committee. And that's
So that sounds a lot more complicated than it is. So like Jess, I have taken the last couple of years and really put into place some procedures and forms and budget that are super simple for somebody to take and use if they want, or create something new. You do have to have some financial background, but if you can balance your own checkbook, you can do this job because it's all coming in through QuickBooks. Categorizing, gives you a report, you update the budget, and you do it on your own time. So like when it's super busy, like during turkey trot or STEM night, when I'm getting a lot in, I might check it maybe like once or twice a week. But when it's super slow times, like honestly, I checked it in February and I hadn't checked it since January because it was a super slow time. So it just ebbs and flows. You write your checks. But I mean, I put in a lot of work in the first year to clean some stuff up and make sure that there were forms that people can fill out for expenses. The teachers can fill out forms to get their checks and reimbursements really quickly. And being head of the finance committee means you take the budget and you're like, hey guys, let's have a meeting and let's talk about it. Because I don't think that there was one budget meeting I went to that my budget actually stayed the way it was. We've always added, deleted, or changed everything. So that's what the health finance committee is for. It's for everyone to, like everyone on the board to have an input into the budget. So you're not by yourself. So.
Does anybody have any questions about any of the positions, want clarification?
Jump right in there and volunteer.
Yeah, and then the next is anybody wanna nominate someone or themselves? Yes,
I'd like to nominate Allison for the position of secretary.
I'll second it. So, Allison, do you accept the nomination? You can put it in chat if you want.
Oh, just building.
Did she hear?
Yes, so thank you, Jim.
So, yes, okay.
Oh, that's-
I accept. I accept the nomination.
Yay.
And there can be more than one person. It can actually be an election. I don't think it's been an election in the last 5 years. But, oh, right. That's completed. Okay. Anybody?
I'd like to nominate Leah Hillemeyer for the position of co-chair.
And then nominate like 3 more people. If nobody else volunteers, I will happily do that. But if other people would like to step up, I'm happy to do turkey trot.
So is that, you accept?
Nomination.
That's-
And nomination.
Okay. If people see my name there, then other people won't volunteer.
No,
Say, "Oh, this one's got it."
really.
I defer that. I think I'm
prefer
hearing
my-
that she's deferring.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
But I'll do
nominate
what
you at the
everyone
next.
else does.
But I did treasurer and turkey trot for 2 years.
I know.
And I took on turkey trot with no help before, so.
Yeah.
He's a back.
I don't know, she seemed pretty like into it this afternoon, so.
But I know that that's important, right? You're doing turkey trot too, and to know that you can do another position if you, like, it's doable. It's not too overwhelming, so.
Especially vice president.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
because
so
they're-
you're
they're-
not playing and I just tried to direct job.
All right,
Yeah, Kelly was president.
I'll accept.
so that's. Well, then I'll second it. All right, anyone else volunteering or nominating somebody else? All right, we will need to recruit more people, so we'll kind of work, if you have any ideas or you want to talk to us afterwards or anything like that, let us know. We'll put the word out, we will vote in April on this for these positions. The next position, 2 positions-ish, that is gonna be new this year, we'd like to start voting for co-vice directors of the Delco Turkey Trot. So that we start kind of fueling in the 2 people that would be the co, and then the following year would be the directors. A large reason for doing this is because the director positions have stipends tied to it, so we want to be a little bit more visible and have an election on that, so that 2 people that are shadowing the directors for that current. So next year would be Dahlia and Tracy. And then they can come in for that role. So we just want to start adding that into the election. So if there's anybody that's interested in being really the directors of Turkey Trot in 2024, we'd like them to volunteer now so that we can have an election on that, get those people in place so that there's a transition moving forward. If Leah or Tracy want to continue, they can of course throw their hats in the ring there too. So any questions on that? Oh, your face looks like. you have a question. No, okay. All right, so then any other questions about elections? So we will vote next month in April. May would kind of be a transition meeting of sorts, but this executive board would continue to be. And the new executive board will take the responsibility starting July 1st. So, all right. Then the last thing with the few minutes that we have here, just around the playgrounds. One, we wanted to say the executive board spoke yesterday about looking if we can invest, like, I think we have, did you actually find a number of what our unaccounted balance for is, or?
I didn't, I was just going based
Yeah,
off
but-
of our reserve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like we have $36,000 at least in reserve right now. And so wanting to like investigate getting a sunshade for the
Yeah.
playground and kind of investing in that. While acknowledging Tommy last month, so that he kind of looking at a bigger committee effort towards the playground, but we wanted to at least start with the sunshade. If it's like going to be a longer term project and do some investigation on that. We did very quick research. It'd be like 10 to 15,000 for a 20 by 20 by 20 triangle. So I think it's something that we want to just work with the administration to like start to see what the feasibility of it is. We would be coming back to the full group with like a real number, real estimates, and getting a vote on that because it is such a significant amount, but wanted to kind of provide that update of just what we felt like we could do in the most immediate term while still having a lot in reserve for a bigger project as well, to fundraise against. So, and Tommy, anything you want to share with the larger committee? So in Jess's email is just if anybody's interested in being on that committee, to really investigate and look at like what the playground options are.
I started-
Great. We are looking for people to be involved.
Can I just ask a question with the playground? So we're looking to keep it exactly where it is. Take down the current playground, take down the current pool, like chips. And then do something totally different,
I think
totally up to the
everything-
committee. Okay, I wasn't
So-
sure.
So one thing I should add to the mix, because right now, the playground's not where I certainly want it to be, just in terms of wood chips.
Yeah.
And I'm very aware, and
I'm sorry.
I'm doing what I can do. This summer, we will be, so SRS had this done last year. It's actually the way that the two, and it's pretty common, it's not like, but, to do it right, you're supposed to lay it down with something underneath it, so the district is, last year was SRS, they had someone come in and lay it properly so that the life of the wood chips is a lot longer, and it doesn't become kind of the mud that it has now become for us. We've always had to add wood chips by the swings. So this summer, they're trying not to put too much down right now, because this summer, they're going to redo the entire playground as far as the wood chips. Now, that's, shouldn't have any impact on what we're doing. Should not, depending on what we look at. I don't think we've identified, though, any particular, like, it's not the whole playground. We haven't even determined which piece of equipment. I would say, though, we have two pieces of equipment out there that still need repairs. They have some stopgap repairs right now. So what used to be called as the big toy back in the old building, which is the main piece, that is most likely, I think, what the piece of equipment we're going to target. Although there is a smaller piece of equipment that I think does need to be replaced in the near term. So it's not as if it's the whole playground.
Okay.
And we also have to talk with engineers and depending on what we pick, may depend on what flexibility we have, because there's certain parameters, certain distance between equipment for insurance and safety. So that's still to be determined, I think, is my answer.
And I'd like to see a different surface for the children to land on. I mean, wood chips are not.
That's what I was just gonna ask, like, is there another option?
Yeah,
other
that's like
than-
a black, rubber
Yeah, because
thing, right? That's the newer cutting edge, I thought.
So,
I could be wrong.
Like a rubber mat.
Yeah. And
I
it's
mean,
like-
we can explore that, but I
Social
will tell you right now,
That's it.
that I actually don't even know, but
Okay.
what, if it is, then I would have to go to the district and say, stop your plans, which means we better lock this down, because what's out there right now, I can't roll the dice that that's gonna be like that next school year,
So we're gonna get the same thing SRS got?
which is the underlying, fix underneath, and then they put whatever the wood chips on top.
Is there?
That's what
any way we
SRS
can,
had,
like,
that's a fact. They just have-
suggest it?
So it's just.
It's the same surface, but it's
We're
not underneath it.
If we lay a subfloor, then same thing
Is it
back
just
on
like
top now.
Meat blocker fabric that they put in?
You're asking me, now you're
I think
asking me some
so.
things I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm not opposed to asking the question like that, absolutely, but I don't have an idea of what the cost is. But if we were to explore that, then that needs to be like next week.
I mean, that would
I
be
think
the
is what I'm
difference
saying.
between
Okay.
making our playground accessible and not accessible.
Yes.
Can you get me a contact from SRS who
That's
did that?
Well, it's all district operations.
Can you give me a
Yes, I can
contact?
do that. Yes.
All right.
You can't wheel anything on that playground, on a wood chip playground.
I mean, our playground has a blue foam mat, but ours is not nearly as big as this one.
I mean, even if we had like a path to the swings and had an accessible swing, they would be doing a lot better.
That, and like, if they're gonna pull up and do the whole flooring, anything that's broken at that point should be getting fixed at that particular time. So that it's in the budget. Whatever's broken now, just to get fixed now, to, because we might get discount if you buy the whole playground at once. But if you can just get the two things fixed with the flooring, then you can kind of do like, all right, can we take out the monkey bars, on a weekend and just put monkey bars in. So then now it is a 3-year plan where like every 6 months you're putting something new in. So
Yeah.
if you fix what's wrong now, as things break, you fix them instead of doing all at once, because that's a huge budget. It's a lot. And then,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And then that's gonna kill the flooring like that.
But that's why we wanted a committee, so that you can then plan those, how that works
Yeah,
with
we
the
did, like-
district, and then this way you have a plan.
Is the district gonna listen to some PTO father?
Yeah, yeah.
I'll be honest
So
with you.
I had
I
like
know how
a
politics work.
brief chat with with a school board member, and she said, as far as she wants to go into more detail with it, and she's trying to find out who we should talk to. Whether or not it's facilities, whether or not it's the superintendent, and so we have that list of 6 people. And I'm waiting to hear from Kelly with who we should invite, and then we're gonna have a meeting. And then we'll hopefully get the start of somebody who's not me to make a project plan. And to like really map out what we're looking at for the next, to actually how to make this happen, you know, and then like.
Yeah, because like we could apply for grants, like. But
they
they
should
should listen to you. You are
You
here
should.
in our district.
Yeah, you're.
You pay me salary.
Well, I also think too, I think to be able to say that like, we're trying to like. Get our collective thinking behind this and we don't wanna waste money in doing this flooring thing. If
Yeah, 'cause-
there's a better, different idea.
But there's also the issue of that they're doing this utilization plan at the district level, which is that, and like. So that's what Kelly said, she's like, you just have to chill for a little bit because we have to finish the utilization plan. And once they get the results of like whether or not they're gonna like do construction at NPE or whatever, God forbid. That it's like, we need to be, like, they might wanna move the playground location, and they might want it, so we just have to like chill for a minute, so it's like. But I think this is what happens, where we're like, let's do it, let's fix it, and then like
They're
everything, wait,
Well, like the ground level flooring this
Like, how
summer,
much does that
they're not
cost?
moving it anytime soon, because that's not a cheap project
Yeah.
to do.
Correct. So I just, while
So-
everybody was talking, I just, this is a whole nother layer. So I just contacted one of our operations individuals who will call me tomorrow.
okay,
Because this particular piece, if we're even remotely talking about the flooring, then that's conversation I need to have tomorrow.
But if,
So-
even if they do that this year, but in like 2 years, we're gonna put the flooring in, so at least this is. Safety for our kids for 2 years. So why would we even have to change? Potentially what's gonna happen, because this is a safety issue for our kids on the playground now.
Is it a safety thing or is it
Well, it's
just like?
not, I mean,
what's-
I would be, but that's subjective that we're saying it's safety. If the wood chips are good enough for SRS, they're good enough for NPE.
But I'm saying, doing this, that what is good for SRS, like what they're gonna do
Yeah,
for our playground. And then in 2 years, we decide to redo the playground and put a new flooring, why would that impact what we do now? Or what the district is.
oh, I thought I heard that there was a push to try to do that now.
Oh, that would be
Flooring.
awesome.
I'm sorry if I
I
misread
think it's
that.
more that like, we don't wanna,
You don't wanna do that and then.
we don't wanna put the wood chips in and then rip it all up like a month later.
We should find out if they have a budget of X amount, let's say 5,000 to rip it out and put the stuff pouring in. All right, save the 1,000 for the replace the wood chips, we can throw in X amount more and get the.
yeah,
The good
And get the
flooring.
buffer stuff now, that's what we want, so we would pay the premium cost. To
Like
do
the
the extra,
difference.
if that's what you would
Okay.
want,
And
is
then
to,
we'll invite SRS to our ribbon cutting.
Yeah, I don't know how that works with bids and things to put a flooring on the playground, but long story short, I just got, if we're gonna have that discussion, I got it right now. Yeah, he'll call me tomorrow.
yeah, and talk to him about like making a meeting with the playground committee.
yeah, I'll come more off.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, you have to pay a lot of dolphin dollars to be able to have lunch with the.
My son in kindergarten saving them. I got so many, I'm like, what are you gonna buy? I don't have some. You can't take them with you, you gotta spend them.
See Mrs. BQ walking in down the hallway with a snack in hand, or Mrs. Mary.
Alright,
And yeah, that's like the most productive conversation about the playground. I feel like I've heard it for years. Anybody else have any new business, any other things to cover?
Just as sitting in the calendar meeting today, they were just asking, it's more board thing or community, what is on our calendar for the next couple of years? Or like events that we should be talking about, so we can bring that back.
Okay. Thanksgiving will have turkey trot.
Couple years.
Perfect.
Like things that we are going to be doing, we do right across America.
Like the
we do
internet.
theme night, yeah, things like that, so.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we can get the calendar.
So they want us to plan, or they want you guys to plan out the future.
And then we has to be October 14th
yeah.
this year because that's when our license runs out. We bought the year-long license. October 14th. Yeah.
Is what expired.
No, if I-
That's the last day.
Jess Brill says wood chips on the playground.
Yeah.
Anybody else can.
There's one more thing that I want to say. This is also a suggestion that I happened to see on on like the PTO Today website, and I thought it was a great idea, something for possibly, I know, I'm sorry. I don't get it, but it's like followed on the Facebook regardless.
Yeah.
And it was for to get children involved, to have a child, like a third, fourth or fifth grade student rep come to the PTO meetings. And this serves two things, right? They come in and do their little like 5-minute report or whatever from the student perspective. But it gives us the opportunity to reach out to children whose parents do not come to PTO meetings or are not involved. And they'll come and bring their child to the meeting. I thought it was a great idea.
Question, it's great about
Yeah.
that, that they, like, they have their own questions
Yeah.
too.
So I mean, if next year, if you guys want to start, you know, it's a possibility working with student council or something like that, to have a student council rep come in for a meeting and for the first 10 minutes, and you know, it might be fun.
Give a student counselor.
Yeah.
I like it. Anything else? Accept the motion to adjourn. Okay, all those in favor? Any opposed? All right, thanks so much everyone for coming. See you next month on
For a catered event.
Thursday.
Expecting big things, adult beverages.
Can't do that.
Well, not adult beverages.
We can get the mix.
I'll bring a little shot glass. Every year we have. Nobody's come to do it. I already found in the back.
It's been on there, it's literally been on there, like, I don't know, it's been on the budget for years. So everyone just, how long do you keep it? But I think